If you don't have our records, the historical records, the archaeological records, the biblical records of so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians, the Holy Bible, then you are in mental bondage.
I.S.U.P.K.
You know what it is? Make sure you log into I.S.U.P.K, cause it's all going up. We got the twins here. Everyone's inside, man. Know what it is, man. Don't know. Make sure you log in, subscribe. Here's the information here. Yes, my brother. Don't know.
We want no cowards in our camp, only men prepare to die. We want no cowards in our camp, never let their brothers fly. We want no cowards in our camp, only men prepare to die.
We are not free, and we are in a mental bondage, a spiritual captivity that we was born into. Why? How do we know this? Well, look at us. We're in all these denominations: Christianity, Islam, Rastafarianism. We have got no idea who we are. But if we rewind 2,000 years ago, we knew exactly who we were. We knew exactly the order of distinction, and we knew exactly who we was in this life. Now we're born with parents and grandparents that teach us we are something we are not. They teach us we are Afro-Caribbean, Afro-American, a byword according to the Bible. They teach us we are Hispanic, Latino. They teach us that we are Red Indians, Native Americans. When we were indigenous to America, that is not who we are according to our records. Read that again from the top, Baba Kashatak.
Khan of the one Khan. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free.
Christ has made us free. How did Christ make us free? Because slavery is a word of enormity. Slavery is a massive word that we do not understand today. When we hear the term slavery, we ponder and imagine a caged animal in a zoo. When we think about slavery, we think about people in third world countries that don't have their liberty or have had their liberty taken away from them. But this is third world to us blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians, so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians, because we have no freedom. We cannot go home to our land, because there's a man in that land to this day saying that they are us and have stolen our identity. Okay, so this is what is true mental slavery. This is spiritual bondage, when you're born into a life when you cannot express yourself and be exactly who you are and who you was born to be. And that's us, the so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians, according to our records. Read that again from the top, Baba Kasha.
Khan of the one Khan. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith, again.
Okay, and are we grasping this, so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians? Because, let me tell you why. What Galatians 5:1 says, a quick breakdown of it, is Christ returned. Now, Christ is from a specific nation of people, and Christ returned for his people. And what Christ did, Christ has given us a period called grace. Now, in the Christian church, we're taught that grace is for everybody. But according to our records, the grace period, which is a second chance for our people, was given to a specific people. And according to our records, that specific people was you so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians. And if you want to be out of this spiritual bondage, if you want to clean yourself and cleanse yourself from that mental captivity that we was born into, This is what we are talking about in Galatians 5:1. This is a second chance, and this is a second chance we must make. And how do we do that? Well, we take the second chance that Christ gave us. He came to redeem us. Read it again, Baba Kasha.
Another one, Khan. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has made us free.
Okay, so only Christ can make us free, so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians. You're not going to be freed by the British government, by the American government, by the Spanish government, by the Portuguese government, by the French government. These are the colonizers that gave us mental captivity that the scriptures talk about. So how the hell are we going to find redemption in that ideology? We're only going to find redemption in Galatians 5:1. What this scripture, this precept is talking about. Drop that, get me 2 Peter's 2:1, Baba Kasha. We know from our records that we have work to do, and we're pushing this truth on our people so we understand exactly how to get out of this mental bondage, out of this spiritual captivity. 2 Peter's, Baba Kasha.
Book of 2 Peter's, chapter 2, verse 1. But there were false prophets.
There were what?
False prophets.
No, the Christian pastor tells the truth.
False prophet.
No, your imam in the mosque is leading our people down the right path.
False prophet.
There were false prophets. What is this precept talking about? Let's get to it.
Also among the people, even as they shall be false teachers among you.
Okay, so we follow the leaders in our community today. And who are them leaders? Them leaders are our Christian pastors. And this is what we're talking about when we're talking about mental bondage. If you don't have our records, the historical records, the archaeological records, the biblical records of so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians, the Holy Bible, then you are in mental bondage. You are in spiritual slavery and captivity. This is the only book in the world that can free blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians. There is no other book. There is no other book. There is no government. There is no leadership. And certainly not what 2 Peter's is talking about, a false prophet that helps to keep our people in mental slavery and mental bondage. Read that again from the top, Baba Kasha.
Khan. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring a damnable heresy, even denying the Lord that brought them.
So these false prophets, according to our records, will bring a false heresy that has nothing to do with us, nothing to do with our people, but they will teach us that Christianity is the way, that Islam is the way, that Rastafarian is the way, that we're all the same, we're all born equal, when clearly you can see in today's world we are not. You do not need the internet to see that we're not all equal. We're not all treated the same. So why it's full time now we wake up? Why don't we wake up? Because the Lord gave us a law through the prophet Moses, and your Christian pastor teaches us that it's okay to break that law willy-nilly. It's all right to break that law whenever you feel like it. So your Christian pastor has taught us to stay in them shackles, to stay in mental bondage. Your Christian pastor, your Islamic imam, they've all our communal leaders that are fronting and leading as so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians today in society, they have led us up the garden path. They have taught us non-truths. They have led us away from the Most High God, not towards him like they teach you. And that, my friends, that, my brothers and sisters, is mental slavery. That is spiritual captivity. Your Christian pastor teaches you it's okay to eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, but if you was free from this mental captivity, you would understand that we have a dietary law to keep with the Most High God as part of our oath, our covenant with him. a promise from the Most High God, and an inheritance. Now let's see if your Christian pastor is correct, teaching us that breaking that dietary law is okay, because all he's teaching us to do is stay in that mental bondage. Read.
Can't another one come? Book of Leviticus, chapter 11, verse 7.
Now listen to this carefully. Don't just take this for idleness. This is our records. This is your so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians records. This is not for anybody else. Listen good.
And the swine.
The swine. Can anybody tell me what the swine is? What is the swine meat? You know the swine translates to today's vocabulary as pork. The swine meat. Read.
Though he have divided hoof.
He has a divided hoof. His hoof is divided. His foot, his toes are divided, which is clean to the Most High God. Read.
And be cloven footed.
He is cloven footed, which is again clean to the Most High God. It is separate. It is holy. Read.
Yet he cheweth not the cud.
Yet he does what?
Cheweth not the cud.
Okay, so he doesn't chew the cud. He doesn't graze like the cow, like the goat, like the lamb. If you do not chew the cud, then you are filthy as hell to the Most High God. And that is the swine meat. But up in that Christian church, your pastor teaches you to stay in mental bondage. Your Christian pastor teaches you to break this dietary law. Eating pork is fine. Jesus died on the cross so that you could break these laws, so that you could eat pork. That is not recorded in the Bible. You cannot find that anywhere in our records. So we have been lied to, we have been led astray, and we live our lives in mental slavery. That's the bottom line. Jump back to Peter, 2 Peter's Bible Kashar. Okay, so if we know the pork is unclean, the swine is filthy to the Most High God, while you so-called blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians are still breaking this dietary law, where are we? Because in John 8:32, I can pull it if you want me to. In John 8:32, pull it out yourself and read it. King James Version 16:11, it says, and thou shalt know the truth, and the truth shall make thee free. So that means if you don't know the truth, you can't be free. You cannot possibly be free. So if you're not free, what are you? If you are not free, what are you? You are in slavery, some kind of slavery. And we know there's two types of slavery. There's a physical slavery and there's a spiritual slavery, according to our records. Now, we might not be walking around today in these towns and cities of the Western world with chains and shackles and iron balls strapped to our ankles. But we believe that Jesus came to save the world. We believe that Moses and the Apostle Paul were Europeans, or they favored Europeans in their depictions. How we have been taught of their descriptions and physical presence. Okay, and that is mental slavery. That is mental bondage. If we don't have the truth, you're in some kind of slavery if you don't have the truth. And if you have been lied to and you don't know the truth, then you are a slave to society. You are in mental and spiritual captivity.
Trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packs I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues. Call this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain, something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword.